Hello, hello, hello. Greetings to each and every one of you. I am so excited. I'm so excited today to celebrate this National Apprenticeship Week. Let me tell you, I am Coach D, and I don't know about you, but as you all were hearing that countdown, I was feeling anxious. I was like feeling like, oh my gosh, this is it. Today is our kickoff for this week's National Apprenticeship Week. And I have an amazing guest that you're going to be hearing from tonight, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are in the world. You're going to be hearing from our guest as today's topic is basically, we're going to be talking about the future of education and workforce with the 529 plans, the apprenticeships, the program that we're going to be talking about today with the official co-webinar title being 529 Education Savings Plan and Registered Apprenticeships Week. This is the 12th annual National Apprenticeship Week. So get on the horn, tell your friends, your families, your co-laborers that we are live here for broadcasting from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, on behalf and in cooperation with the United States Department of Labor, as United States Help Desk Academy is a national registered apprenticeship program sponsor. I know that's a mouthful, but it's exciting. It's a mouthful, but it's because we're doing a lot across all 50 states, and you'll be hearing about that today. So it is an interactive call. So there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions, for us to engage, and for you to walk away with a clear understanding of the 529 apprenticeship plans. And particularly, we're going to feature California because that's where United States Health Test Academy is located. All right, we are ready to get to it. We have a presentation that you're going to be watching and going to share just some very important information. I was shocked to learn how many people are not aware of the 529 college savings plan around the world, around the country, around the United States. So here we go. Expanding career pathways for students nationwide. Welcome. Again, I am Coach D. You're going to be hearing from my guest later, from our guest, because we're going to all welcome our guest today. We're going to be hearing from our guest in just a little bit, who's representing Scholarship 529. So prior to him coming on, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about apprenticeship as we recognize this 12th annual celebration. The demand for alternative pathways. Students and families are actively seeking meaningful alternatives to a traditional four-year college, a university, that are pathways that lead to real in-demand careers without the burden of crushing student debt. Now, we are, of course, in support of four-year college university. In fact, I attended one. So, and I'm sure many of you have. But some of the things that people do not realize is that your 529 plan can also be used to support your apprenticeship program. So even if you use for college, university, we're going to get into that. I'm going to leave that to the resident expert here. And so I just wanted to let you know that we want to share meaningful alternatives to traditional four-year college and university or in alignment with. Today's landscape presents a rare convergence. Education during tools like 529 plans can be used to support apprenticeship training, creating a seamless bridge from learning to earning. Now, I have to pause and say this because I often deliver presentations, and I'm also shocked by the amount of people who don't really realize what an apprenticeship program is. Most people, when they describe apprenticeship, they're describing really an internship. And I say, nope, that's not an apprenticeship. That's an internship. So let's talk a little bit about what is an apprenticeship. It's a structured earn while you learn program that combines real world experiences with formal instruction. Now, since this is an interactive call and since this is our first live stream from the week, I want you to dive in. If you knew what apprenticeship was, or if you also thought apprenticeship was intern, then you will just give us a thumbs up, a chat, a comment, what have you. So, what is an apprenticeship? It's a structured earn while you learn program that combines real world experience with formal instruction, giving participants the skills and credentials and confidence to launch meaningful careers. What does that mean? You have paid on the job training. Apprentices earn a competitive wage from day one while developing hands on industry relevant skills. You receive structured, related instruction. Formal coursework complements practical training, ensuring a well rounded credentialed education. What does that mean? There is a required related technical instruction that is required based on your occupation. The amount of hours are required and in alignment with that apprenticeship program. So, for example, cybersecurity has a required 172 hours of related technical instruction. Digital marketing with AI has a required 140 to 180 hours of instruction. Computer user support help desk has a required 244 hours of instruction. And I'm giving you examples from the United States Help Desk Academy registered apprenticeship program. So that means that while you're earning, while you're learning, and also while you're getting that credential and earning that credential, you're also completing successfully, because of course you all are going to be successful. You're successfully completed those required hours of instruction. That's another difference between interns and apprenticeship. Expert mentorship. You are assigned a journeyman. And that word, even if you're in technology industry, that word has been grandfathered down because historically apprenticeship has been known for construction trades. Well, guess what? It is expanded to include technology, cybersecurity with the CMMC program, cybersecurity maturity module, cybersecurity model, excuse me. All of these certifications now, it's not just a construction. So you have like a subject matter expert. We can interchange that basically, but it's considered a journeyman. So you're getting that mentorship while you're going through the 2,000-hour work hours, which we're going to talk about a little bit. You're earning your industry recognized credential while completing your related technical instruction. You're earning income while training. All right. Now I see Capucine on here has made a comment. I'm going to show her comment on the screen so that hopefully we can encourage others to participate as well. Thank you, Capucine. I see you. I see your comment. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to continue on in our presentation. We want to encourage others that are listening. We'll shout you out if time permits to give you a comment here. Now, going to continue on. Zero student debt. We're going to show you how to do that, whether it's through the 529 plan, which we're here to talk about today. But if for some reason you did not get a 529 plan, our guest today is going to show you how to get in and all the terms around that. But in the event that you don't have one, our goal is to make sure that you have zero. Somebody say zero. I'm going to act like I'm in church in a moment. Somebody say zero. I want to hear an amen out there. Okay, I can't hear you all, but I can see your comments, so go ahead and comment. Zero student debt. Earn income while training, no loans required. That's our goal. I don't know how many out there have student debt, but we want to make sure that you don't have student debt. Now, stackable skills. All of these is what an apprenticeship leads to. Now, I'm going to speed it up here a little bit because time waits for no man or woman. So we're going to keep going here because my time is limited. Apprenticeship versus internship. On the screen here, I have presented a checklist for you so you can compare the differences. Internships are generally 3 to 6 months. Oh, I see Monet on here. Let's show your screen here, Monet. I see you, Monet. All right. 0. We have duration of 3 to 6 months, temporary internship. Duration 2,000 hours. It's a structured program, apprenticeship. Now, I know you all can read, so I'm not going to read every last one. You can screenshot if you want the screen so you can realize the difference. You have related technical instructions and everything that I went through. The outcome, industry recognized credentials or certification, training, formal instruction, hands-on OJT. The list goes on. It is now you see why I'm so excited and so passionate. Look at this checklist for apprenticeship. And I see why the nation and the world is celebrating with us this National Apprenticeship Week. Now you understand the hype, the duration, the related technical instruction, the compensation, the outcome, the training, the mentorship, the debt, 0 student debt, the employment, and the funding. Those who are eligible for 529 plans, you're going to hear about that in just a moment from my guest, as today is dedicated to that day. There's the Workforce Innovation Act, other forms of support. There is no reason why anyone should not be able to fulfill their dreams and their goals. Angie White, I see you. All right, Angie. I'm interactive. I like to give world love around the world. So we appreciate you engaging. Angie White, I see you. Thank you for your comments here. And we're going to just keep going. Now, apprenticeship deliver credentials, income, and career placement, not just experience. Shout out to the United States Department of Labor for hosting this 12th annual National Apprenticeship Week. Why apprenticeship matters now. $1.7 trillion, and this came from Google, total U.S. student loan debt, a crisis that demands alternative pathways. Now, you can still go to college, you can still go to university, and you can still have an apprenticeship. If you come like I did from my family, work 2-3 jobs, you got time, energy, let's get ahead of it. You can go to school and work, whatever your heart desire. Don't compromise getting good grades in school, though. But if you are not on that pathway for post-secondary, then apprenticeship is an alternative. Or if you need to earn income also while you're doing it, you have all of these options available to you, because we, of course, are pro-college, pro-university. As I mentioned, that is where I went to as well. Employed within 6 months of apprenticeship completers, some less than that. I have a young lady you'll be hearing from in tomorrow's broadcast who, I don't want to give away too much, but tune in tomorrow during tomorrow's graduation, because you'll hear from students that have actually done this, that have actually completed, that are actually making 6 figures, that are actually in their apprenticeship program and in work, and they're making a whole lot more than 70,000. This says average because they're all over 6 figure. So this 70,000, which in some, depending on state, that's the disclaimer, some will start as low as 70,000. Of course, that depends on where you are in your region. There's over 500,000 plus active apprentices currently enrolled across the United States. Isn't that exciting? 500,000 over these 12 years of apprenticeship being celebrated. This is so amazing. So the traditional college only model is no longer the only or best pathway. Now, benefits for students. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Benefits for students. Earn while you learn. Receive a paycheck from day one. Now, that's after you got your certification and you're employed. That is day one from your employment. I'm often asked the question, Coach D, can I do 1099 work? All that? No, this is not my rules. Department of Labor requires that you must be a W-2 employee. Unfortunately, we cannot have 1099. Zipporah, I see you. All right, Zipporah, keep those comments coming. I'm blasting you all on the screen. Thank you all for engaging. I love engagement because I'm broadcasting live from DC and I feel like you all are right here with me. So keep the engagement going. Now, benefits for students, we've already touched on it. So I'm going to move on through this slide here. I'm going to move on. But earn while you learn, industry credentials will do like my professors say and my coach. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. Then I'm going to tell you. Then I'm going to tell you what I told you. All right. So you can really get it. All right. Here we go. I'm going to take you back to school. Now, earn while you learn, industry credentials, career pathways without traditional debt, mentorship, and professional network, accelerated career entry, and nationally recognized pathways. Oh, and by the way, did I tell you that you also get a certificate from the United States Department of Labor when you successfully complete your program? Uh-oh, I see another one. Looks like Tommy C is in the house. Uh-oh, Tommy C, I see you. All right, engaging. All right, continue to share this out. I see you. Now, obviously, I won't have time to shout out everybody, but I'm going to, as you all show up, I'm going to give it to you. Now, I'm going to go to the next slide here. I got just a couple as my time will be running out. I want to stay within my time frame. Let me give you real world examples. And we're going to bring on our guest in just a few moments. So put your seatbelt on, particularly those who live in California. But even if you don't live in California, you stay tuned in because there's 529 plans all across the USA, across the 50 states. Now, real world example, United States Help Desk Academy. I mentioned earlier, our apprenticeship tracks are cybersecurity, computer user support, and AI digital marketing with 529 and WIOA funding options. Google and you'll find out more information on how to register. If you want one of those three, at the end of this presentation, you'll find out how to connect in the now if you want to pursue any of those apprenticeships. Google apprenticeships, Google, who happens, shout out to Google, United States, we actually were a recipient of the GD Rise grant by Google, shout out to Google. And so to help us to expand nationwide throughout with our training and apprenticeship program. So shout out to Google. We love Google. Google Apprenticeship Programs trains the next generation of IT professionals, data analysts, and user experience designer. UX, for those who don't know the lingo, is a user experience designers. No 4-year degree required. Now, IBM apprenticeships have the Skills Build Apprenticeship Initiative have placed thousands of workers in AI, cybersecurity, and cloud computing roles across the U.S. Oh, speaking of thousands, let me go back. United States Health Desk, I forgot. I was in San Diego last week. The updated number for cybersecurity for the defense industrial base, right now there's 117,000 contractors that need these apprenticeship roles that we are filling. The CCP, which is cybersecurity, CCA, and registered practitioner. Throughout all of those cybersecurity programs, which the CMMC, CCP, CCA, and the RP program, you're going to hear about more of that tomorrow. But since we're talking about thousands of apprenticeships, there's over 110,000 contractors that need what you're going to be trained in these apprenticeship programs. And that's that complete talent pipeline pathway that we're ready to fill, that we're ready to fill. If you're ready, we're ready. CompTIA, who also is one of our partners. CompTIA, if you haven't heard of CompTIA, the world's largest, we are a CompTIA partner. And CompTIA partner with employers and training providers to deliver industry recognized IT certifications through structured apprenticeship tracks. So when you complete, whether it's AI, cybersecurity, you will earn a globally recognized certification as well. And CompTIA is one of our partners as well. I'm excited to say. Education and workforce, the most powerful shift in workforce development is happening right now. And it starts with connecting education funding to career training, students, apprenticeship program, industry certification, and employment. Students, motivated learner. Slide 10, the role of 529, because that's what we're here today for. What 529 plans cover is college tuition and fees, traditional use, registered apprenticeship program fee. Now listen at this, put your ear to the computer, put your ear to the speaker. And you're going to hear a lot more from our guest today in just a few moments. But just a little teaser. 529 plan covers college tuition. Do you hear me? You know how much college tuition costs? The fees, traditional use, books, supplies, required equipment, credentialing, certification, exam fees, tools, technology required for training, and in some cases, what? Room and board? That's a new one. We'll have Jose speak to that. I didn't know that one. Wow. Now, the awareness gap, millions of families have 529 savings, but they don't know how they can use them. So shout out to ScholarShare 529 in California for helping to get the word out that you can use this for apprenticeship. And we honor them for first participating and helping and spreading because they're with this is a co-webinar. We are co-presenting, getting this word out, spreading the word, and they are leading the charge. Why do I say that? Because California, by population, the largest state in the United States. So we applaud them and give kudos and love to California. I am partial to California because, of course, that's where we're headquartered. Now, families who saved for college can redirect those funds toward apprenticeship programs. It's a national opportunity. Every state has a 529 plan. Every family with savings can now access apprenticeship pathways. Visit 529apprenticeships.com to learn more. All right, many families don't even realize that this exists, so spread the word. Now, scholarship, I just said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because this is what our presenters, so you just need to know state-sponsored and trusted, administered by the ScholarShare Investment Board, a California state agency. There's tax advantages. And since the Secure Act 529 plans can be used for everything I just mentioned, it's a model for the nation of what we're sharing today. It's across all 50 states. Millions of families have 529 they can use for 529 and they don't know it. So we're here to sound the alarm. Connect with registered apprenticeship providers, state 529 administrators, and workforce development organizations nationwide. This is a complete talent pipeline pathway, and we provide step-by-step guidance. So easy to get started. Visit ushdacademy.com, ushdacademy.com. Explore available apprenticeship tracks and program detail. You choose your track. We have 3 that are offered nationally. I mentioned earlier cybersecurity, computer user support, and AI digital marketing. Apply right there online. Takes you less than 3 minutes to apply. Register. I like to call it pre-enroll, register, because it's so simple. Barrier to entry, there are none. Just fill out the form because it's so simple to connect. And you choose from multiple funding options when you sign up. So begin your apprenticeship, start earning, learning, and building your career. Student, this is an example of a student pathway. They graduate high school, they do apprenticeship program, they complete their industry certification and or employment, and they go right into their employment opportunity and or college, high school or college. You can be in college as well. Doesn't have to be an alternative. You can do both. That is confirmed. And then the employment opportunities, assuming you have the funds for your 529. Now, apprenticeship aren't just a regional solution. We're here today because it's a national apprenticeship strategy that can transform the workforce development from coast to coast. Students across all 50 states, every student in every state deserves access to a meaningful, affordable pathway to a career. Now I see a couple more people I missed here. I'll go ahead and share. Let's see. Your ScholarShare can support not just college as long. Okay, I see you. This says Jose. All right. Hi, Jose. Shout out Jose Q. All right. Thank you. Jose in the house. All right. Jose Q. I know that name. Apprenticeships can create a scalable, that's Jose Q, not to be confused with our next guest here. A scalable national solution connecting students, employers, and ecosystem. Call to action for students, families, explore apprenticeship options available in your state and field of interest. Investigate your 529 plan for schools and educators. You can share apprenticeship pathways with your students who may not know this exists. Integrate workforce development resources into college and career. Partner with programs like United States Help Desk Academy to expand, or CompTIA or Google to expand program options for your students. For employers, you want to partner and become an employer partner with United States Help Desk Academy so that we can register you. For the record, United States Help Desk Academy is a national apprenticeship program sponsor, which means many employers around the country can sign up for apprenticeship. That means we host a conglomerate of programs. It's not just one program, there's programs throughout the country. So we're not just here running one program, it is a program sponsor, which means anyone who wants to be an employer or student, we can support you in that pathway. Invest in workforce development that delivers. And in closing, see, my time is up 10:30. Apprenticeships are not an alternative. They are a parallel pathway to success. For too long, the conversation about education has been framed as a binary choice, college or nothing. That framing has left millions of talented, motivated students without a clear path forward. Apprenticeships change that equation entirely. They offer a structured, credentialed, employer connected route to a fulfilling career. Earn while you learn, credentials that matter, career that lasts. Thank you so much for your time and attention. My time is up. I'm going to transition to our special guest today. From Scholarshare, I put the information on the board. You can screenshot on the screen the ushdacademy.com and 529apprenticeships.com. And without further ado, we are going to put our seatbelts on for what we have been waiting for today. We are going to get ready. We're to hear from our next guest today, who you are going to hear from in just a moment. You're going to hear from our guest who is going to be representing the Scholarshare 529. Let me get my mouse here. I'm clicking all over. The Scholarshare 529, who you are going to be hearing from. The next voice you will hear after I read this introduction, I want to tell you who you're going to be listening to. So the next voice you will hear will be that of our special guest today. So, Jose Espinoza is a longtime Napa resident, originally from Zamora, Mexico, who moved to California at age 13. He holds a bachelor's degree in organizational communication studies with a minor in human resources from Sacramento State University. With over 19 years of experience in the financial services industry, Jose currently serves as an education savings consultant with TIAA, that's CREF, tuition financing. He's passionate about helping people save for education and is committed to empowering individuals to make informed decisions that support both their goals and their loved ones' future. Outside of work, Jose enjoys traveling, cooking, and spending time with family and friends. I think I could have been auctioneer. I said that so fast. But anyway, please help me give a warm welcome and round of applause to our special guest today, none other than Jose Espinoza. Hi,
Hello.
Jose.
Hi, Coach.
Woo!
Hi, Coach C. Thank you for the introduction. Thanks for the invitation and giving us a
Thank
space to come
you.
and talk about Scholarshare. How are you?
Yes, I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. We are ready to start. And I am
Let's
so
do it.
excited to hear you present. And I am going to go from the screen, go off the screen, and thank you so very much. And we can go ahead and fast forward and
All
begin the
right.
presentation about Scholarshare. Thank you.
Well, good
All right.
afternoon, good morning to wherever it is that you're watching. Once again, my name is Jose Espinosa, and today we're going to be learning about Scholarshare 529. Well, 529 is, but today specifically with Scholarshare, which is the California plan. Once again, my name is Jose Espinosa, and I'm passionate about sharing how families can better prepare themselves for the future cost of education, whatever the pathway looks like or your child decides. Um, Scholarship 520, and even though today we're going to talk about California plan, and if you're not in California, still stick around because you will find the information helpful, and still do some additional research for your state plan. But Scholarshare, who we are, Scholarshare is California's official 529 plan. It's been around since 1999, helping families save for education expenses. So a proven track record here, and it is one of the largest plans in the nation, and overseen by by the California State Treasurer Fiona Ma. And what you see here on the screen is a hypothetical example of a savings plan. This is what the power of time and the power of compounding interest does. So this is a hypothetical example of $100 going into an account monthly over a period of 18 years. Now, if you were to invest your contributions and average a hypothetical annual rate of return of about 7%, but you can see here your potential earnings. Your contribution practically doubles. This is what the power of time and the power of compounding interest does. So the sooner we establish the plans, the sooner we start making those contributions, the sooner we're going to start yielding those benefits that the 529 plans offered. So who is Scholarshare? And is Scholarshare 529 the right plan for you and your family? What you see here on the screen is the different ways or options the families can use when they're saving for education. And depending on which avenue or which option you use is going to determine it's gonna make a big difference, right? So on the left here, we're gonna talk about a savings account or a bank account that you can open at your local bank or credit union. If you've been around for long enough, you'll recall the banks were not paying any interest for a long period of time. Right around 2020, they started increasing their yields. They have taken a step back. But something that I want you to consider and take in mind is that any interest over $10 that the account generates, that bank account, we're going to receive a 1099 INT form for the year that those interests are paid. So we don't get to, and we have to report it as income, so we don't get to keep all of those interests that that savings account pays. Same goes with the brokerage account and insurance. Insurance products, I haven't really come across any families using insurance products to pay for education. They typically step in where families want to protect in case of a death and now retirement accounts. Keep in mind that these accounts are intended and designed to take care of us in our retirement years, because we're still going to have expenses and they may not look any different or much different than what they are right now. And if for any reason we're considering accessing our retirement accounts to pay for education, an important question that we should ask ourselves is, how long is it going to take me to recover? Because if withdrawals are not done properly, consequences may be bigger than the benefit. And it could also mean that we're missing out on potential future growth. Now let's compare that to Scholarship 529 or a 529 plan. So a 529 plan is a tax advantage educational savings plan. Let's just not consider college, because again, we're considering different pathways now. So an educational savings plan that allows families to make contributions and invest money for future education expenses. Now, depending on which state you're in, those contributions are gonna be made with after-tax money. At the federal level, it's always going to be with after-tax funds. The benefit that the plan offers is going to be tax-free growth on those contributions. And as long as you use those funds for education expenses, you get to keep every single dollar that the account generates to pay for those qualified education expenses. So that means more money in our pockets to cover those costs of education in the future. These tax advantages can add up and can really give your beneficiary an even bigger head start when we're saving for education. So yeah, let's not just consider the 529 plans or think of them as college, because they have evolved over the years, and we're gonna review that here in the future slides. Now, once or during the account opening process, when you're establishing the account, we're going to select an investment portfolio, an investment option of how those contributions are going to be invested. And depending on how involved you like to be, or let's say how much risk you'd like to take. So we're going to start here on the right with our most conservative approach. This is the guarantee portfolio, which it pays a fixed annual rate of return on those contributions. It's not exposed to the stock market, so you'll never see any fluctuations in your balance. Again, it pays a fixed annual rate of return. It's currently paying 3% through the end of the year. However, that's as high as it'll ever be, and the ceiling and the floor is going to be on 1%. So again, very, very conservative, not exposed to the stock market, and it'll generate a fixed annual rate of return. Now, the next two options here, the risk base and the enrollment year, these two options are exposed to the stock market. So you may see some fluctuations in your balance depending on how the stock market is performing. The difference between the two is that the risk-based portfolios are static investments. Whatever you select during the account opening process, it's what you're going to have until you take the time to log in and initiate a change. And you can make up to 2 changes per calendar year from any of the investment options. So it's a bit more hands-on when it comes to the portfolio. Now, the third option here, the enrollment year, as you can see here, it's our most popular approach because it provides that hands-off approach for the account owner, where all you have to do is select a target year of when you're projected to use those funds, and the portfolio will automatically rebalance on its own to go from more aggressive to more conservative as that target year or as that enrollment year approaches when those funds are going to be used. Again, you can make up to 2 changes per calendar year from any of the investment options. You can reach out to us and schedule a consultation to review this in more detail. So now and because Scholarship 529 is directly accessible to you, you don't have to go through a financial advisor. In return, it has minimum cost. As you can see here, it's half the national average of all 529 plans here in the nation. Because again, there's no advisor, there's no commission fees. The plan itself does not have a monthly fee or annual fee, no commission fees or application fees whatsoever. And funds in a 529 plan have actually minimum impact when it comes to applying for financial aid. It's only going to impact about 5.6% of the financial aid eligibility. And as you can see here at the bottom, 529 plans owned by grandparents will not have an impact on financial aid eligibility. So now, once you establish the plan, and let's say you're ready to use the funds from our 529 plans, what are the options? You're going to be very surprised and happy that these options have really expanded. So you can use it for more than just a traditional 2- and 4-year college and universities. You can use it for vocational programs. You can use it for apprenticeship programs here, anywhere in California, nationwide, and many types of expenses. And that's for the apprenticeship. So let's say the student decides to go to the traditional 2- and 4-year college. There are many institutions international that can also be used, or you can use funds from a 529 plan to cover those expenses. But apprenticeships and vocational programs here, anywhere nationwide. And many types of expenses such as tuition, room and board, computers, laptops, internet, really any expense that the student requires to attend that institution. Now, let's review the what ifs, right? What if I say funds in a 529 plan and now my child or the student didn't need the funds, or there are leftover funds? So there are a few ways that you can get the funds out of the initial plan that you establish, and depending on which route you take is going to determine on which route you take is going to depend whether we pay taxes on the growth or not. So the first option is, at any point, you can change beneficiaries in a 529 plan. And important to point out, the funds in a 529 plan do not have an expiration date. So this could go as far as future generations can benefit from this 529 plan. And you can change beneficiaries up and down or side on the family tree as many times as you need to without any tax implications. Now, the second option is you can use it to pay up to $10,000 of student loans for the beneficiary or for a sibling of the beneficiary. That's $10,000 lifetime. Now, the other option is very recent. In 2024 was the first year that the IRS allow funds, leftover funds in a 529 plan to be rolled out into a Roth IRA for the benefit of the beneficiary. Now, there are a couple of things that have to be in place before that option is available. The account does have to be open for 15 years. Funds have to be seasoned for 5 years before that option is available. And it's set at currently it's been set at a lifetime limit of $35,000. So if for any reason the student or the Benny doesn't use it for education expenses, you can give them a head start in those retirement savings. And now lastly, at the end of the day, these are your funds. You have 100% control of the assets. If for any reason you need to liquidate the funds, and if you need to use them for a purpose other than a qualified education expense, you can absolutely do that. However, this is where if funds are used for a purpose other than a qualified education expense or those options that I just discussed, offered, and you're going to pay federal taxes, state taxes on the earnings, and a 10% penalty at the federal level and 2.5% at the state level. But this is only on the earnings, not on your initial contribution that you've established. And these are some of the expansions that 529s have had. Initially, of course, the 529 plans were only to help families save for college expenses. Don't think of it of a 529 in that way anymore. 529 plan is an educational account that can offer this other option. So apprenticeships, loan repayments, and expanded the use, and of course, the Roth IRA rollover here conversion that we just covered. These are some of the apprenticeships, the popular apprenticeships that are available here. So mechanic apprenticeship, elevator technician, plumber, electrician. I'm going to leave this screen here for a little longer if you like to take a screenshot of this. And there's a question, no comment. All right, so now that we have reviewed the benefits and the usage of a 529 plan, who's eligible to open an account? Well, anyone who's 18 years old that has a valid social security number or a tax identification number and a U.S. resident address. So typically the parent will be the account owner, but there's no requirement that the account owner has to be blood related to the beneficiary. Anybody can open an account for anyone. However, for the beneficiary, we will need to have a legal name, a tax identification number, or social security number. Now, something that I really enjoy and use it, and I see parents sharing this U-Gift code, is the contribution. Once you establish the account, the account generates what we call a U-Gift code. You can share this U-Gift code with anyone that you'd like to for any special occasion, graduation, birthdays. We can reach out to our Thrive and invite them into making a contribution to our child or our beneficiary's 529 plan. I see those contributions come through. I also make contributions for my nieces and nephews using this platform, and it makes a bigger impact than the toy or the piece of clothing that the kid will outgrow soon after we gift it. Now, how easy is it to open an account? Super simple. Simply visit Scholarship 529. There are 6 consultants there here on the platform that you can schedule a consultation with one of us. You're going to need legal name, date of birth, social security number or tax identification number, and address for both the account owner and the beneficiary. Decide how much you would like to save. Choose your investment option and schedule those contributions. The contributions, they're very flexible. You can do monthly contributions, you can do quarterly, twice a year, or once a year. It is a 529 plan is a savings plan. So just like any savings plan, you must allow some time and some contributions for it to build up. Now, for anybody who already has a 529 plan or may have a 529 plan and would like to review the benefits with Scholarshare 529, we can absolutely do a review there and see what the benefit would be to roll over. The IRS actually allows you to do one rollover every 12-month period. For those existing accounts, if you haven't already set up recurring contributions, again, time and recurring contributions will give you or will have you set up for success in the future. If your budget allows it, increase those contributions, share that gift code, schedule meetings with any of the consultants. And I'm going to put this QR code here on the screen that you can access our calendar. You can go directly to our website to open the account with this QR code. But with that, Coach T, I can pause and take any questions if there are any questions. I don't see. I'm going to put this quick disclaimer here on the screen, and I'll put it back to the QR code.
All right, here. Yes, let's see. Are there any questions from the audience? Let's see. If so, just type it in the chat. Any questions from the audience? Please just type it in the chat. Any questions? We'll wait on you to type in case you're not fast typer. We'd love to hear from you. There's a question in the audience from anyone. Please feel free. Now, I did also put a link in the chat to the Scholarshare homepage, which I received from Gloria. So I put that in the link on the YouTube page, and we'll make sure it's on the event page as well. But now is the time to answer any questions that you all may have. And if not,
you can also
go right ahead.
You can also scan the QR code and schedule a meeting individually with us, and we can review, those questions or address those questions more specific to your situation.
That sounds like a plan. And did I speak correctly when I said that people or individuals can use the 529 plan for college, university, and apprenticeship program if there's enough funds in the account? Did I speak correctly there earlier when I wasn't sure?
That is correct.
Okay, because that would have been a question I would have had. Okay, make sure that was there. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and attention. And for those that are listening and broadcasting, this will be broadcast. Oh, I do see a question here. Let's see. Okay. There is a question here that asks, is this program for everyone?
Yes. So 529 plans.
Yeah.
So 529 plans are accessible to anyone. This is the California plan. Most states are administered, or most states have their own 529 plan. If you are, if you are in California, this would be a great plan to consider. This would be your plan. But if you are from out of state, some states may provide a some tax benefits for your state plan. So do make some time to do some additional research. Again, reach out to us. We're here as a resource to help you understand them in more detail. But those resources that Coach T also provided earlier, that's our great, the websites that she provided for you to go there and review. But 529 plans, again, don't think of them as just the college education, just for college expenses. They have really expanded to become more flexible so the families can use them. And can an adult, this is a great question, Coach T, can an adult have a 529 plan? Yes, you can. There's no age limit. There are no expiration on the funds. So if you want to go back to school, you can open a 529 plan and start saving ahead. for those expenses. Also, if you are planning on going back to school and you may have to rely on student loans to pay for those education expenses, it's important to start saving in ahead so that you can maybe use the funds. You could use funds from the 529 plan to pay down those student loans up to $10,000 here currently.
I see that note we'll put on here. Jose, open to all families. Okay. Put that comment on the screen as well. I know he's behind the scenes working.
Yes.
Now, the good part about this, for those that may watch this stream after today, I know that this broadcast will be pushed out through the United States Department of Labor and all of their social media handles. So, in the event a question comes up and we're not live, then you can, as Jose said, just scan the QR code and all of that information will be there. If you outside of the state of California, then you'll go to 529 apprenticeships with an S.com. 529 apprenticeships.com and just search for the state that you are in and be sure to register on ushdacademy.com if you're interested in cybersecurity, help desk support, or AI digital marketing, and we'll guide you in through connecting to the proper pipeline pathway, which whatever employer and whatever apprenticeship program. This looks like another question. Oh, that's our good friend over there. Here's another question here. Dr. Courtney asked, you want to read that, Jose? I'll let you answer
Yes.
that. You're the
So,
SME.
yes. So, are these funds also available for a person who has already graduated from college and want to return for
Mm.
another degrees? Yes, absolutely. Um, you can start saving. You can open a 529 in advance and start saving for yourself. But yeah, there's no age limit, and again, there's no expiration. There's no residency required for the state, but do some research in the plans. But yeah, anybody can use a 529 plan to pay for those education expenses.
And we got about 4 minutes. I was going to say that this actual broadcast, again, will be pushed out. And um, until next year's apprenticeship program, it will live out there in the universe, in the internet, through the Department of Labor, social media handles, and all of our handles. So we will push this information out. So if you know anyone in California, we are creating awareness that this exists. And we thank everyone for tuning in. Any final comments, Jose, as we prepare to celebrate the rest of National Apprenticeship Week with you kicking off Scholarshare 529 plan information?
Yes, get the plans going. Give your children, give yourself the opportunity to save in a 529 plan and take advantage of that tax-free growth. As we know, what education, whatever pathway you decide to take, it can really make a tremendous impact in our life and change the trajectory of our future generations. So, for those of you who may be planning of having children, the sooner you establish the plans, the better prepared you're going to be in the future. It's a 529, again, it's a savings plan. So just like any savings plan, you must provide some time, some contributions for it to build and take advantage of that tax-free growth that it offers. With that, really thank you for the space and to be able to come and share this valuable information to people out there.
Well, thank you for being here and all of the Scholarshare family. I'll shout out Gloria, Jose Q, and the list goes on. Stanley Zito, Dr. Courtney, all of those who made this day. But people don't realize what goes on the back end just to make today possible. So I want to shout out all of those that have been basically a part of making today happen. And for the next 365 days, we'll make sure this is pushed throughout the nation with the support of the Department of Labor, as after this broadcast, it'll go through all of their channels as well. Thank you so much. We look forward to keeping the connection going, and Godspeed to you all. Thank you so much. All right, take care. All
Okay.
righty.